Hi, this is Jason from McGuire's Clocks, and today we're going to take a quick look around our store. You can find us at mcguiresclocks.com, on Instagram and Facebook under McGuire's Clocks. Now, our floor space is considerably smaller than it used to be. We moved about 5 years ago, and our main focus now is repair, but we do carry a nice selection of new, vintage, and antique clocks, along with a good amount of gifts for kids. So we'll go ahead and start over here. This is our Allen Designs wall. She makes and designs these clocks. Fun for kids, kitchens, living rooms, anything you want. Various designs. They're just timepieces, pendulum swing, very colorful, and they have been great for us. They're good quality, solidly made. We do carry a selection of Plush, the Warmies brand, Gund, and the Manhattan Toy Company, along with some other fun things like this dinosaur dig, where you break open the egg using a hammer and chisel that they provide with you, and there's little play dinosaurs inside. We do still carry Bulova. This is one of their larger wall clocks, more modern design. Some more of the Plush. These are aprons for kids, for when you're helping mom and dad cook, or even doing art stuff. It's nice to have to help keep your clothes clean. Some of our floor clocks. This is a vintage solid oak colonial. Movement's been removed, serviced, and carries a 2-year warranty. On any of our vintage clocks, movements are either replaced or fully refurbished depending on what the condition is and what the availability of the new mechanical units are. This is the Howard Miller Raymore. It is no longer in production. It was a very popular clock. This one has a new movement in it because it was available and it just made the most sense to do that. Got an antique English clock here. This one strikes the hour on a single tube. Instead of being a coil gong or a bell, this one's kind of nice also because you can actually turn the strike on and off on this one, which is relatively unusual in an antique clock. And I'll show you another old English one we have here that you can actually do the same with. Again, it's a little unusual, even though we have 2 of them. Very unusual pendulum. That movement's been completely overhauled. Here we have 2 antique German grandfather clocks, both 2 weights, hour, half-hour strike. You see they're similar in style, different colors, different garnishments on it. Now here, if you're the kind of person that wants a real floor clock, but you don't want to have to worry about winding it, this is a Revere electric grandfather clock. It is a 5-tube tubular bell, and it runs on electricity. So those weights that are in there are not real. They're just there for show. However, the pendulum does function, and if you'll look inside, it has a real mechanical unit in it, but in the back of the movement, there's an electric motor that is driving all that. So it works very similar to a mechanical one, just that the parts the weights would normally drive is being driven by that electric motor. Our Warmies, and you'll see these spread throughout the store. These are cool. You can put them in the microwave, heat them up, and they're scented like lavender, and they're weighted, so they're real nice. You can, keep them in your lap if you're cold. They're supposed to be for holding on for kids when they sleep to keep them warm. They come in a variety of sizes. Nice wall clock selection. Got a couple antique German box clocks. And then this clock is a Kenninger. It's from the early 80s. It has the acrylic dial that you can see through and see the movement. This one, the movement has been pulled, restored, and put back in to keep original. They also don't make that movement anymore, as Kenninger is pretty much out of business, aside from making some of the movements for Howard Miller still. Some more warmies and the books that go with them. And Sonia triple chime wall clock, a little bit fancier German box clock. This is a Wersch. It is a Westminster chime clock. Their cases were always exceptionally well made. Some Coca-Cola clocks, battery operated. Another mid-century looking clock there. That one's an hour, half-hour strike. This is actually a French vedette. It plays Westminster. And then this is a vintage Sly. So all these clocks, if they're antique, the movement's then completely restored. If they're vintage, then again, they're either completely restored or replaced depending on availability and want to keep it original. Our selection of round wall clocks, this changes frequently. We've got a couple of University of Texas clocks up there. These are probably one of our bigger sellers, is the round wall clocks for kitchens and such. Something new we have here, these candles are made here in Houston, Texas. Handmade, got one the shape of Texas. Variety of different scents on them. All right. Let's spin around over here. We have some more Plush. We do have some UT stuff for kids and a couple coffee mugs. These bears have the UT logo on their shirt. And then you got the little piggy bank and coffee cups. Another large Bulova wall clock. All right, so these are the Cuckoo clocks we have right now. I've got a couple more of our more popular ones coming in. The one we sell the most of, I think we sell it for around $385, and it's a 2-weight, 8-day Cuckoo clock. Got a large Hunter that I need to wind up. I'm testing right now to make sure it's keeping proper time. This one, it's got bears on it. This one in the front moves up and down when it cuckoos. Water wheel. It's very elaborate. You can find a better video of this on our website. There's videos from most of these Cuckoo clocks that show what they do. This is a newer one we just got in, the brew house, the beer house. This was a very popular one last year. All right, so I want to show you this. We carry a brand called U-Gears, and it is a puzzle made out of wood. You punch the pieces out of the wood slats, and you can make these beautiful clocks. This one happens to be a clock. They have boxes, jewelry boxes. I'll show you this one over here. These are completely functional. I don't keep this one running because I don't want anyone messing with it, but they do function, and this one actually keeps a really good time, surprisingly, as it is somewhat of a novelty. More stuffed animals. We keep a variety of puzzles for kids here too. Let's see, they have trains. And then this one's called the aquarium, and it's got these two fish that spin around in a circle. Some of these are manually operated, meaning you have to turn them yourself, but some of them actually have springs in them. This one launches a airplane out of it. It's like a little gun that launches the airplane off the top of it. Some more of the dinosaur ones. You can see the hammer and chisel and the bib it comes with, and you just chisel away at the eggs to get the little toy dinosaurs out. My daughter loved that. And here's another one. This is similar, but it is like a puzzle of a dinosaur that you chisel out and then put the dinosaur bones together. Now we carry a very large selection of music boxes. These do rotate as far as what is available, but this is our current selection as of today, which is the 2nd of December of 2022. These are vintage ones over here on this side. And then we have, most of these are going to be new over on this side. It's a large 36 note piano. Plays beautifully. There is a video of this also on our website if you want to hear it. Some more over here. Again, these rotate pretty quickly through here also. One thing to note on these, the movements that come in these boxes traditionally are made by Sankyo. And now they make a okay movement, but it is a foreign made movement with plastic in it. So what we have done is I bought the boxes blank, and from another distributor, I purchased all of their backstock of the vintage Rouge movements, Joe Bond movements, and their vintage Romance by Rouge movements. Serviced all of them and put them in these boxes instead. So you're getting one of those 3 brands in these boxes fully serviced. So they're gonna sound better and play better than the Sankyo ones. And in the long run, when they need service, they're serviceable. All right, our Mantle clocks. We have some battery ones right here. A couple more up here. Bulova, Howard Miller. Nice antique Ansonia. This Bulova one's been really popular, as all it is a timepiece, but it's pretty cool looking, and you can see the gears move around on it. Got a vintage bracket clock here, brand new movement. That is a triple chime. I just put that one out and it's in the middle of testing. Antique German, around 1900s, half-hour strike. This is a really pretty clock. It shows much better in person. It's got beveled glass in the front door, really nice. This is the other antique English clock. You can see up here it has the silent and the strike also. This is a bell chime on a traditional bell instead of the tube bell. Very nice clock, silvered face. Kind of different with that silvered face. This one is still in the works. I haven't got to it to refurbish it, but I have it out here just because it looks so nice and it can be refurbished fairly quickly. All right, vintage Linden Mantle clock, bracket clock. One of my favorite ones we have right now, which is the Ansonia Royal Bond Lenord. The flower and the painting work on this is just beautiful. Nice oak, vintage Howard Miller. Again, these are all gonna have new movements. Almost none of these will have the original movement of the vintage ones, just because none of them were manufactured in such a manner that you need to keep them. So when I say they have new movements, what that means is on any of the clocks that are like that, that have the new movements, what's been done is the exact same movement that was in there from the factory is put back in there just brand new. Now, if that movement is not available, brand spanking new, same company, same model, same style manufactured, I will rebuild what is ever in there. But it makes more sense to give you a brand new mechanical unit on the vintage stuff than it does to rebuild it. like these anniversary clocks we have. Movement's been pulled, cleaned, completely rebuilt. Anything that it needed was done to it to keep it original, because you don't want to try to replace anything in there. They don't make anything for that, but you don't want to do that. Same with this one here. Same with any of the antique ones like the Lenord and the other porcelain one that's on the other side. Then the the two spring German. They're all kept original, completely rebuilt their original movement. All right, and go around here, take a look at some more of the floor clocks. So I don't know how this is still here. I know it's a lot of money, but it's a heck of a deal. This is a J.H. Miller. This is the non-tubular bell version. We have it listed at $9,500. It is used. However, it came out of a display home for a builder and was pretty much never used. The movement that's in there was pulled. I looked at it. The story I got was, like I said, it came out of a show home that was designed for a builder and was never used. That's the way the movement looked. It was completely cleaned, completely lubricated properly. I checked for anything worn in it, not a lick of wear in it. So it is like new again. This clock retails for, I believe, around $26,000 or $28,000 now, which means that buying it new, you'd be paying at least $13,000 to $14,000 for it. I have this one at $9,500, and it is as close to new as you can possibly get without buying it straight from Howard Miller. This is a beautiful clock. It is really well made. This one, I believe, you can check the website, but I believe the date code on this one was from 2012. Now, normally you'll see in one of my other videos about the Eisenhower, spending the money on this clock compared to some of the other ones, unless you're just straight looking for a really expensive clock. The Eisenhower is a very comparable match. It doesn't have as much inlay in it, or some of the work in the columns. You can see the extra beadwork in the middle of these columns here. But if you want something that has a very similar style to it for probably $5,000 less than what this one costs new, the Eisenhower is a very good option. However, at $9,500, you can't beat this one if you want something like that. All right, got a little grandmother clock here. This was a Emperor kit someone put together. I purchased it inexpensively. It's got a brand new movement in it. It's been tested. Anything that was wrong with it has been dealt with. This is a trend Dorset or slide Dorset model. Mahogany case, beautiful mahogany veneers on the door. And if you'll look right over here, somehow I have two of them. That doesn't normally happen, as this isn't a common one to come up for sale. There's more of these than of the wall clock version, which I also have available. You can see that on our website. And there's a full video of this one, which is the centennial edition of the Charles R. Sly grandfather clock. It's in 9-tube. If you want to see more info on that, you can watch that video on YouTube. Nice flat top Ridgeway. And this is a reproduction of an antique clock by the Henry Ford Museum. This clock is so solidly constructed that it weighs more than some of the larger clocks I have in here. The wood is just, it's really pretty, the grain that's in it. It's not like that everywhere, but it has a very, very nice case. It is very well made. It uses an ergos movement. No, I'm sorry, this one has a yoke movement in it, and the movement's been completely refurbished from the ground up. It's got great great sound. I believe there is also a video of this one on the website. Now some of these like this is just your run-of-the-mill Howard Miller floor clock, but for $17.50, this one's got a brand new movement in it. It is a Westminster chime movement. So it's just a single chime, and we're asking $17.50. Now the thing is, to get anything like this now, you're gonna be paying close to $2,500 for it, brand new. And it won't be constructed the way this one is. This one was constructed in the early to mid 90s, and their construction of their cases was considerably better than it is now. So you're getting a better clock for $17.50 than you would for $2,500 these days. This is a Fancher. This one is mechanically ready to go, but I've got some case work to do along the bottom of it. Fancher made beautiful cases. Very heavy clock. I mean, they didn't skimp anywhere on their wood. And that one's going to the case shop pretty soon. This is a oak pearl, triple chime, nighttime shut off. Very well made case. You'll hear me say that a lot, and that's because I'm kind of particular about the cases that I buy. I don't want something that's got particle board and stuff in it. I try to buy the vintage ones that have a little bit, that are solid wood or have very little filler wood in them. This is a Seth Thomas, not the original Seth Thomas, but someone purchased the name along the way and used it. This is kind of a cool clock, as you don't get full columns on a clock, but this one, the columns are completely full, which is really neat. The case is in outstanding shape on it. It's running a Kenninger movement, so you got triple chime and nighttime silent on it. Just a really well-made clock. I'm getting close to the end here, but here are a couple of them that I wanted to show off. So I just finished doing the restoration on this one. This is a Hershey Model 250, the clock. I'm still testing the movement on it, although it's pretty darn close. I'll be asking $8,500 for this. Quick note, at one time, this was easily a $20,000 clock. The industry is not the same as it once was, but it is still a very collectible clock. Hershey made some outstandingly cool clocks over the years. I think there's one on my YouTube channel, probably from about 7 years ago, that I did a video of, and it was massive. It was about 96 inches tall and had carving all over it. It was absolutely stunning. And I bring that up only to say that clock, as beautiful as it was not worth as much as this clock. And that's because this one is highly collectible. People that like Hershey's like this particular model. I can't tell you exactly why, but it is the most collectible one that I've seen. Now, this is another run-of-the-mill Howard Miller. Again, just a really solidly made case in a traditional style. This one is triple chime, so we're asking $19.95 for it. It's got a few more features on it. Nothing overly special, just very well-made case. And I was happy to fix it up and get it going again. And this one is the last one that I just fixed up. This is another Hershey, and this is a Marquis de Lafayette. And as you can see, the dial's still off of it as I just finished testing it. And in the process of putting everything together, found that one of the tubes is cracked. So that is out getting repaired. They have to take the plug out of the top of it, re-weld the tube, and something to note on this one, the tubes are brass plated. There's not very many of them that I've seen with the brass plate on it. This model seems to have, you seem to find the brass plated tubes on this model more than the other models. So when they repair it, they're also gonna have to replate the brass on there. So it'll be a little bit before I get that tube back, but it is in process. I always like this one because if you look at the top of the door, all right, and you follow it down, and then follow it down, essentially you could take this door and flip it upside down and it'd be the same door. It's symmetrical top to bottom. It also has really nice carving in the wood. The windows in the side of it follow the same pattern as the front door, which is nice also. You can get a lot of glass in the side of it. So this one should be ready here, hopefully in the next few weeks when they get the tube back for me, but we are coming up on the holidays right now, so I'm not 100% sure how long that's gonna take. All right. Couple I have coming up here. This is another slide. This is the Stanford. This is a triple chime Kenninger movement. Movement's on order. I'm just gonna put a new one in here. This one tends to sell pretty fast and I'll probably sell out of state and I don't want to have to worry about anything. This one's really cool because this is my favorite dial out of all the ones Sly made because you get the selectors at the top corners and the perforated dial. It is just a really beautiful dial. This one's ready to go. Different kind of design. This is an Ethan Allen. This is a solid cherry case with ebony accent columns. Again, very heavy just because it is solid cherry. Very good shape. This one's got a new movement in it also. This is a Hermley movement in this one. One of my favorites we've had so far, this is a Charles R. Sly from 1982. So it's pretty close to one of the first ones that they made. Just a beautiful case overall, lots of mahogany. And these were all hand finished when they were manufactured, and you can see that in the color variation in the finish. It's not 100% perfect like you'd find on one of the more modern ones where they've sprayed the finish on. This is all hand done. It's got a nice amount of inlay in the top of it. Really pretty dial. This one, the plaque did have a name on it. I had it wiped clean so it could be reused again. And all these Charles R. Slys, they're serial numbered. I'll be doing a video of this one pretty soon. I was just timing it in. So look for that one coming up on YouTube. Just lots of mahogany on it. Some more wall clocks. 2-weight Kenninger. It's a Ridgeway clock, but it's a Kenninger movement. 1-weight Vienna regulator. And over here, this is a 2-weight New Haven ladder chain grandfather clock. And right next to it, that is a French Vedette Westminster chime. That one is not fixed up yet, but it is on the list to do. If there's anything you'd like to see more of, please let me know. Feel free to like us on Facebook and Instagram and follow us on YouTube. I will try to keep up with the videos better. Go ahead, put this in here as I know most of y'all will watch this one. I haven't done videos in a long time in the way that I used to. From 2016 till now, I was fighting leukemia and I am fine, but all y'all were asking again and again for videos and I wanted to let you know I wasn't ignoring you, I just wasn't quite able to. And you'll even hear in this video, I'm not quite, my memory is not quite as good as what it once was. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this and let me know what you want to see more of.